February 27th, 2022, here with your live show. Of course, this show also available on Spotify, iTunes. I need to adjust my monitor. That's why I'm leaning into the screen there, but also has the clock on it, so I can tell what time it is. Of course, I got my watch sitting right here on my desk, but anyways. So I do know what time it is, and I have a clock somewhere over here, too. Got screens all over the place, but I don't know. Anyways, it's Thursday. It's January 27th, doing our live show. Of course, this show we do Monday through Friday. It's kind of similar to the afternoon show that I do with Joe Madden and, afternoons with Mitch and Joe. I'm really enjoying that show, and I got to say, hopefully you guys get a chance to tune in. It's a work in progress. I think we're going to have different formats where we're going to just discuss things, and then we're also going to have formats where we have a guest here and there, but we're not going to have daily guests on that show, that's for sure. Maybe once a week or twice a week, but those shows run a half hour with a tight deadline, so they're fun, and we don't get too far off topic, even though, well, there really isn't much of a topic to begin with, but weird. Oh, I see. It's Elvis. Couldn't see what it was in front of Rick Pitino over here, but it's actually it's Elvis. I didn't know. Good morning to everyone that's joining. We got back on the winning track with our 7 free picks in just 5 minutes yesterday. But, I read some, I always read the YouTube comments, and people say you should ignore them, and, you should ignore the ones, but I can't really ignore them. It's impossible for me to do that. But the thing is that, some of the comments are just idiotic. They are. I will tell you guys. They're just idiotic. Some guy said in the thing is that I hit the NBA parlay yesterday on YouTube, and someone said, yeah, but I bet $10 and I only won $8. How is that possible? How is it possible? I gave them out against the spread. How is it possible that you bet $10 and won $8? It's not the payout on a parlay. And nobody called this guy out on it. No one said, hey, that math doesn't add up. Instead, they said, you're an idiot and all these other things. You guys ripped them apart, which, was great. But, I eventually just delete the comment because it was just so pathetic. But it was like, the math doesn't add up, right? The math doesn't add up. You bet $10 on a parlay, I think you win 26. I don't do a lot of parlays. Who do I like yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I liked the Canes, Miami on the money line. That was awesome. Those of you who know, man, you guys can see behind me. I have this. I got that Canes thing. I also have the light up U, which I'm going to redesign my set and put that back on here. But yeah, the Canes with that buzzer beater, that was just absolutely awesome. They didn't like the spot that the refs gave them as far as where they were going to inbound the ball from. The refs pushed the ball way back, and it ended up being just absolute money. So they buried it from half court at the buzzer, with plenty of time actually to spare. They had 1.6 when they got the ball, and the ball was clearly in the air with, half a second left to go, and hit the backboard right as the light went off. So it was plenty of times. The Knicks. The damn Knicks. It's like at the at the golf course, I don't have like a lot of, I don't hang out with I don't have a lot of chums at the club, but I hang, people know me at the driving range. They know what I do for a living, and they'll be like, man, what's wrong with you? And it's like, in the summer, like, man, you seem kind of down and out. I'm like, man, I got some issues. I've been betting the Mets again, It's like, they know that, so it's like, it's a lot of fun. I don't know. I mean, we could talk about opportunities, live betting when they were down or whatever and any of that stuff. But, the Clippers have been live bet money too recently. Yeah, the betting tools are awesome. And so I have a meeting with the guys that you guys know I don't personally build the betting tools, right? I mean, those things are like it's like my level of expertise in tech is here, and the guys that build the betting tools are like off the page. And the thing is that we meet every other week to talk about where we're progressing, because like I said, it's a 2-year build, the betting tools. So the thing that we know that you guys like are the dog streaks page. So we built out a page like that for sports chat plays. But it's not just dogs, it's everything. And it is massive, massive, massive. You guys are going to, I don't know how you're going to get anything else done in your day. I don't know how I'm going to get anything else done. But they built it, and I should be able to see it in 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see it. I did not see that there was a new coach in Denver. But Ben Roethlisberger retires. So Hackett is what they're saying will be the coach. Chris Mack out in Louisville. I was surprised that they ever hired him. The thing is that the thing is that I don't know how much Rodgers likes Hackett. It's not like Rodgers is like was thrilled to be in Green Bay that whole time. I use the betting tools for any of the picks that I give out on that 7 free picks in just 5 minutes. I do that from the betting tools. Seattle, I gave out on the drive-through against Stephen F. I just loved them last night. I don't know why I didn't give that as a premium pick. Two picks that I didn't give out in the premium that I really liked: Sam Houston and Seattle. I freaking love them both. Oh yeah, I was way sure. What I gave out on Seattle on the drive-through, those were from the betting tools. All those facts that I was giving out, those were from the betting tools. Those were the leftovers that we didn't feel were relevant enough to publish. That's how much stuff we have. But yeah, that's Seattle. That was pure money, right, against Stephen F. It's easy. All right, we can get to some picks. Let me just make sure, of course, to answer picks on this show, you need to be supporter level or higher. Yeah, I just saw that Big Ben announced his retirement. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone, but at the same time, I think that he had a nice career. And the thing that I really like about Ben Roethlisberger, and you could like him or not like him, I don't really care. It's not my call, right? Whether you like him or don't like him. But the thing that I personally like about him is that here's a guy that started off pretty rough, in his career. He made some mistakes on and off the field. And instead of being like Antonio Brown, where it's this over and over and over, and Josh Gordon and these scrubs, people like that, he turned it around, ended up, retiring. He's got a nice family, kids, wife, it's like, had a nice career, got some rings. He's probably headed to the Hall of Fame. The real Hall of Fame, not like the baseball Hall of Fame. The sham. The sham of fame they should call baseball. It's a sham, the Baseball Hall of Fame. It is a absolute shit show joke. It is not the best players. It is whoever was best to the media. But anyways, I'm going to get to these game pick questions. I know that's why a lot of you guys are here. The nice thing about this show is we do go over the games and picks and things like that. We go over, kind of talk about the stuff yesterday. It's the only place really on Pick Dogs where we talk about yesterday. And, on the afternoons with Mitch and Joe, we don't really do picks. All right, let's see what we got here in the questions. Ricky Armstrong had the Hawks yesterday, and I win 100% of the games. I get to pick after they are over. 100%. See? Mitch Wilson. That's me. I win 100% of the time. Tell me a game from yesterday. I'll pick the winner. Tell me any game. Any game. I like Tulane over Tulsa on the money line. Let's see what we got. I'll tell you, Adams to Vegas makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Trying to get to these questions. Need to rewind a little bit. Let's see. And there's the link to join the supporter level. Matt, Pepperdine at San Diego -7.5. I just picked this one. It's off the bottom. So we'll work our way back, I promise. So this one, Pepperdine at San Diego -7.5. Let's take a quick look at it. You know, San Diego's been pretty good to us. I know that much. But Pepperdine, you know, traditionally in these weird spots. This line's down to 7.5, opened at 9. Pepperdine, really not much going on here offensively or defensively. San Diego is usually a good under-the-radar team. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. San Francisco, Loyola Marymount, they lost to Portland at home, 82-63. San Diego won the first meeting by 10. That one was at Pepperdine. I like Pepperdine. I like San Diego here in that one. Yep, we only answer questions if you're supporter level or higher, if they're game questions. We'll answer any other questions you have, but unless you're supporter level or higher, we tried doing the thumbs up thing. It didn't work. Like right now, we have 127 people watching and 34 thumbs up. So we know that doesn't work. I'm not going to sit here. People won't even hit a thumbs up and answer their questions for free, taking time out of my day. But if you support our channel, and I enjoy doing this, that's for sure. But there's nothing fun about sitting here and like scumbag William Lease, who criticized us. I tuned in for half a second on his live stream last night. He had 9 people watching, and he thinks that it's because YouTube censored him, but it's not. It's because he sucks, right? I mean, he's a piece of garbage. No one wants to watch that crap. Who would want to watch a piece of garbage like that? YouTube censored me, is what he said. Moron. YouTube censored me. So, yeah, like I said, this designer habit. We give game. I'll answer any game pick questions. You just need to be supporter level or higher. So Rodney's saying, are the new series of betting tools going to have shots on goal for hockey? Yes, they are going to have shots on goal for hockey. So we have actually the betting tools. There's going to be 2 different iterations of the tools, 2 different ways that you can look at them. Number one is you can look at, so right now, and this will be out in the next couple of weeks. This will be the next things that you see. So, but right now when you go here and you go to players, right, and you go to NHL, it's not going to look like this anymore. Well, it's early, so they're not out yet. But you go to so when you go to the players tab, it looks like this, right? And here's all the injuries. Now it's not going to look like that going forward. What's going to happen is you're going to have a player like this, right? And you'll click on the player for each team, and it will show you all the props that are available for that player. So you'll have way more information. This was updated, this injury list. You could see it 57 seconds ago. Last updated 57 seconds ago. That's how accurate it is. We don't just throw out injury reports and say, oh yeah, we don't know when this was updated, because especially NBA where you don't know. Now I'm stuck in no man's land. But here we are. I'm back. All right, let's get to another game. Georgia State versus ULL. So I did this one on the parlay, and I took Louisiana. I think sometimes these lines, they start to move like that, and it's almost like they're trying to suck you out, but I don't think there's any reason to believe that we're getting sucked out on this thing. They're the better team. Georgia State, if you bet them this season, you've gone broke. Ron Romanelli has been big on Georgia State. We should have him on just to do a Georgia State rant. I know he's been hating Georgia State. So I'm taking Louisiana in that one. I don't give a crap about the line move. I handicapped the game, and that's what my handicapping told me. I don't look at like the line moves in much. I really don't. I don't think the data is correct as far as the bets and the bet numbers and sizes. They don't make sense, right? So it's like it needs to all make sense. And I think the more stuff goes legal, the less that it will do. But what I'm showing is that a lot of money here on Georgia State. And, of course, the line is moving in that direction. But I don't really care because the numbers on the game, to me, say Louisiana all day. So that's what I'm sticking with. Of course, your money, you can bet it as you like. Mount St. Mary's versus Fairly Disinterested. Eric Glover. Let's see. We can find this question for here. Here it is. Mount St. Mary's versus Fairly Disinterested. This is a bad game. Let's see what we can find out about it. Bad games could sometimes be good games. But a lot of these 6-digit lines don't come out until the morning of the game, so I don't get a chance to handicap these the night before a lot of times. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So Fairly Disinterested, always horrific on offense, averaging 53 points a game. Mount St. Mary's averaging 60. Meanwhile, Fairly Disinterested, we know they give up points because teams shoot like crazy against them. I'm going to take Mount St. Mary's on the road here. Don't love it. Definitely other places I would rather be. I'm with JPZ. I like La Tech today as well. I did a video on that game. I think Rice is a little bit overrated. New Orleans -5 versus Houston Baptist. Andrew Strawmeyer always picks the games I have premium picks on. He's fantastic at that. I think he's like 5-0 in picking games I have premium picks on. But let's look at this one quickly. New Orleans at Houston Baptist. And another one that I no chance to look at. I'll tell you who follows the New Orleans games closely is Rod Zawacki. See, it's like everyone kind of has their little off team, and Rod's is New Orleans that he follows really closely. The Privateers have been pretty solid here against the number 7-3 in their last 10, but 3-4. 3-4-1 against the number, but they've been winning games. So this is a problem, right? When you have a team that's laying points and doesn't cover a lot of spreads. But we know Houston Baptist is absolutely terrible, right? I mean, they were awful. They won their last two though, so they beat Incarnate Word. They were 2-point dog. They won by 3. Then they were 13-point dogs against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, won by 6 in that one. So they're semi-rolling here for Houston Baptist. Man, these teams played earlier at New Orleans with New Orleans winning by 16 points. I like New Orleans again in this one. See what else you got. Where is my co-host? There is no co-host on this show. The show is just me. I do afternoons with Joe, and I'm going to do more shows with Joe too. I like working with Joe. She's a good one. One of the best decisions I ever made. I will tell you that much. Hopefully she's saying the same thing about us. All right, Andrew's got one for us. It is North Texas -14.5 against Southern Miss. Southern Miss, we know, is absolutely terrible. North Texas, throughout the years have been one of the best cover teams for us. And, we've talked about it for a long time. They play serious defense. And, this is one of those games where it's just a matter of how many points North Texas is going to be able to score on them. And I think it's going to be plenty. I like North Texas. I say you lay the big number here. No problem. I think mail it in. North Texas. I can't stand Southern Miss. Yep. You have to be supporter level or higher for me to answer pick questions. It's $3 a month. So if you ask one pick question a day, it ends up being 10 cents. The only reason we do it is because, 193 people watching, 80 likes. And that's not including how many people have come and gone through the show. I do not have a premium pick on Purdue, Iowa. But I like Purdue in that game. Iowa's generally tough at home, but I like Purdue. Purdue, now that we're almost in February, you got to really watch out for these teams like Purdue. And Purdue just has too much talent and can do it in too many different ways. So I like Purdue in that one. I would consider laying extra points. I think they roll it up on them. Marshall versus Middle Tennessee. I was going to actually do a video on this game, and I didn't do it. Marshall favored in this game, right? Even though they're the team with the worst record, Middle Tennessee has, they've won their last 3 games. It's just one of those ones, like something looks funny, right? Marshall's lost 9 games in a row. And then here they are favored against Middle Tennessee, who's at least won their last 3. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm gonna take Marshall here. This is one of those games where the line looks so odd. You got to go with it. Did Belmont game on the 7 free picks in just 5 minutes. Yep. Neon Fitness need to be supporter level or higher. Yeah, you could make a case for Middle Tennessee money line. Definitely. For me, I can make a stronger case to not bet the game. For me, it's a stronger case to not bet it at all, is where I'm at. Long Beach State. I know I saw the what up Beaches? Long Beach State Beaches against Riverside. Yeah, when the thing is about Long Beach is that we know they play the tough out of conference and then they get in conference and start taking names. And I see no reason why they can't win on the money line here against Riverside. Riverside is good, not great. They've won 5 of their last 6. But they lost to Irvine by 17, a team that Long Beach State beat. So I'm not big on the we beat them, they beat you. But I would take. I think that definitely a live dog there on Riverside. I mean on Long Beach. I got a pick on premium on that Nebraska-Wisconsin. What's your take on the Lakers 76ers? Let me make sure. We got you here. Yep. Well, you're not a premium. You're not a supporter level or higher, so I cannot answer your question. Mills is saying that he likes Long Beach too. It's a city. Colorado at Washington for Robert Delgado. There we go. I like Washington plus the 2.5 in this one. This line looks so funny to me, right? Because Colorado's coming off of that monster win against Oregon. And that game was on the road. Now it's back-to-back road games for the Buffs. Washington is definitely improved, but they're not world beaters. but they could definitely win in this spot. They lost at Colorado by 14. Now they're getting just 2.5 at home. I like Washington in this one. I think we take them on the money line. All right. I know that you, if you're saying if you're a premium member, supporter level, I know it is. Hopefully Mills is back on the show this weekend to do it. And I believe Keegan, our winner from Instagram, will be on this weekend too. I'm going to get him set up today. See what we got. Lipscomb at Jacksonville for Joey. Oh, man, you guys love to dig deep. Let's see if we could find him so we can put him on the board. Weird, I don't see it on these comments. But so Joey is saying his question is Lipscomb versus Jacksonville. Let's take a quick look at this one. What are you guys doing today? Anything exciting going on out there? I'm gonna after this show, I go and walk Sam. That's what I do. It's my excitement for the day. And then not sure what I'm gonna do. Let's see. We're looking for this Jacksonville Lipscomb game. So when you guys ask the questions, I'm just doing super quick, high level handicapping here. So it is what it is. But we've had pretty good luck doing these, right? So Jacksonville 3-point favorite here over Lipscomb. Lipscomb has not quite as good as they were a year ago. Jacksonville definitely a lot better. The Dolphins, are a team that we don't expect a lot from. So when they're good, there's a lot, you get a lot of value there. And what we've seen here is that they're horrible on the road, really good at home. And that's their home in this one. Meanwhile, Lipscomb coming off a win over Kennesaw, but they're not much to write home about here either. I would say it's a slight lean to Jacksonville. I like the defense, and Lipscomb doesn't play defense. And I think not having defense on the road is always a problem. Oh, man. Daughter with COVID, so you're on lockdown. That sucks, man. Well, we wish you the best. 7 below in Chicago. No, thank you. You guys know I used to live in Chicago before I moved to Hawaii. And when you see this comment, it was 7 below in Chicago yesterday. That's why when I came to Hawaii on vacation, I never left. I'm still here. It's like, no way. My favorite NCAA basketball team is the same as my favorite NCAA football team and the same as my very favorite team in all of sports, Miami Hurricanes. They're my team. Let's see. What part of Chicago are you from? Groovy Caps. Little Earl from 83rd wants to know. I lived in the Viagra Triangle. I did a video on the UCLA Cal game. The Montana State versus Eastern Washington is a interesting game. The Montana State Eastern Washington is an interesting game. Montana State has been fired, and so Eastern Washington has played really well. The number seems a little to the high side. So it's like, I think you either take Eastern Washington or you don't play it. Wow, foot of snow in New York. I've been a Dolphin season ticket holder since the day the team started. My father got the tickets the day the team started. Yes, I did. I watched the Miami game, and when they hit the shot, I screamed. And my wife was like, "What are you screaming about?" Because I don't usually scream when the games are on. I'm not much of a screamer. Sometimes I am. I'll yell at the TV, but I'm not like a screamer on the big shots. And I rewound it, on the TV and showed her, and she said, "Oh, I get it." It was awesome, man. It was awesome on the ACC network. I had it on the big screen, because it was Miami. Oh, it was awesome. It was actually a really good game. It was tight. It was back and forth. Miami, I have to say, was super resilient in that game. Yeah, I was so glad it didn't go into overtime. Oh man, I was thinking to myself the same thing. I was like, when Virginia Tech had the ball, like right before the end of the game, I was like, well, at least if they hit, at least I'm going to cover the spread, But I also had it money line, and when they hit that shot, it was freaking amazing, right? We must have come on early today. No, I don't have a premium on the Towson game. Towson is kind of, they're a tough team to call, so I'm not big on them. But we'll take a look at it if you want. I have not been great on Towson games. You might want to bet the opposite side. So, you asked about this, and these teams just played. So, these teams just played at Delaware, and Towson won. Delaware was favored in that game. Towson won by 7. I think Delaware returns the favor here. I don't know if they win outright, but I think they at least cover. I think it's way too many points to pass up on here. I think this is like a last second. I actually think that Delaware is going to win this game. I don't think that there's jealousy among teammates in college sports because some people make money and some people don't. It's the same way in the NFL. How do you think the players in Aaron Rodgers' locker room feel? Where it's like it's a salary cap sport and he takes up like 50% of the salary cap for the entire team. So I don't think there's any jealousy at all. How do you get premium? So there's two. The premium picks on the site is you go to the website, click on the premium picks tab for picked up for this is you just click on this link for YouTube Premium right there. But for 76ers Lakers game, I mean, the Sixers are traditionally tough as nails at home. This year they haven't been as strong, and the Lakers, of course, coming off of that nice win against the Nets. I still like the Sixers here at home. I think the Lakers first quarter, like I gave out on the 7-5, but I think the Sixers win this game. The Lakers defense definitely a lot better with AD in there, though. That's for sure. But I'm taking the Sixers. Let's see what else we got. I would say there's a big comparison in the NFL as to they don't all get paid that. Not even close, to be honest with you. They don't. It's not comparable what the NFL players get paid. So look at so we'll look at like the Seattle Seahawks payroll. Okay. If we look at the Seattle Seahawks payroll, okay, Russell Wilson makes $19 million. It's a $37 million cap hit. Bobby Wagner makes 16.3. Jamal Adams, it drops down. His base is 2, but his signing bonus is 4, so he makes 6. But when you look at So Tyler Lockett, right? He makes 6.8 million, but then you go down to DK Metcalf, he makes 1.4. You think that that's even? Tyler Lockett makes 5 times as much as DK Metcalf. So I think it definitely is an issue. I think Metcalf is a stand-up guy. He's kind of just an all-around good guy. So I don't think it affects somebody like him. But you go to like some other teams, like, go to like, I don't know, let's look at the Steelers and see what these guys are making. So I think you're way wrong there. So when you look at the Steelers, TJ Watt makes $24 million in base cash, while and Minkah Fitzpatrick makes $10 million. You go down the line here, right? You go down the line for the Steelers, and a guy, let's find someone that actually contributes. So Trey Edmonds makes $895,000. And yeah, it seems like it's a big difference. So Freiermuth, who caught all those touchdowns, makes $934,000, while Deontay Johnson, who dropped all those passes, makes $1 million. And then you look at the kicker, makes $3.3 million. It just doesn't even make any sense, Mason Rudolph, who sucks ass, right? I mean, he's the worst. One of the worst players in the entire NFL, makes $3 million. You tell me how this doesn't matter. There's no workforce where people get paid the same, but there is a workforce where people get paid based on performance, and there's a workforce where people get paid based on their contribution and position. And I believe that in the NFL, there are players that are way overpaid and way underpaid. And I think there is animosity all the way. And that's why players leave teams. That's why they go somewhere else. If not, they would just stay. I definitely don't agree with that. Let's see what else we got cooking. Probably a good topic for another show. We could talk about it with Joe Madden in the afternoon, that's for sure. See what she has to say about it. It's called military. They all make the same. One Connor McDavid. I don't watch UFC. I'll watch it once in a while, but I don't sit there and watch like card after card after card. But I have no problem with it. But at the same time, it's like it's not something that I block out on my calendar. So. Yep. Last night, definitely our picks. We had the one bad day on our 7 free picks, and it happens. But, most of those picks, most days, we've been pretty solid on these free picks. And I know people are going to complain regardless. So, it is the way it is. It's however you use them. There's always people that complain. Pacers gave up franchise record in points at home to Hornets. Yeah, this Pacers team is the worst defensive Pacers team I've seen. Yeah, William and Mary, aren't they playing today again? William and Mary? I believe so. Oh, they're playing Elon, right? I like them. I like William and Mary against Elon, that's for sure. Oh, all the way, man. All the way. I can go 20-1. I can go 101, and people will complain about the one. I don't believe that money is what ruined boxing. I think what ruined boxing is pay-per-view. Because the very best fighters, most people have never seen them. And I think it's the same thing that UFC has, that same danger. But UFC, when they have a card, only the top 5 fights are on the pay-per-view. The rest are usually accessible. But in boxing, the very best fighters, like Manny Pacquiao was the best fighter of his generation. And half the world never, more than half, 95% of the people have never seen him fight. Floyd Mayweather, he has the record and, he can talk and all that stuff. 95% of the people never saw him fight. So they don't know that he runs, right? That's all he does. He just runs around the ring. He's fast. He's great, and he's got great boxing skills. He's got all those things. But he's a runner, right? He just hit and run, 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 hit and run. And it's not fun to watch. But, like I said, can't argue with the record, and the record is the record. So that's what ruined boxing is, the pay-per-view. That they should make all champions have a title defense on free TV at least once a year. If they have it on free TV once a year, and not like a crappy fight either, a mandatory fight against a top 10 challenger, on free TV once a year. That's what wrestling does, right? That's what wrestling does. One of my partners that does the betting tools just watched our 7 free picks in 5 minutes for the first time. He just sent me an email. It said, fucking awesome. So Gervonta Davis is really, this guy, I thought he was never going to lose. I think he has the stuff where he could be one of the greatest of greats. I think he has what it takes to be one of the greatest of greats. But the problem is that, once again, no one gets to see these guys that he's going to fight. So you don't have the buildup. Back in the day, Muhammad Ali used to fight all the time on free TV. He fought all the time. There used to be a show called Friday Night Fights on ABC that Howard Cosell hosted. And they would have title fights. George Foreman versus Jimmy Young. Muhammad Ali versus Leon Spinks. Roberto Duran versus Esteban de Jesus. Those were all on Friday Night Fights live. They were awesome. George Foreman versus Jimmy Young. Ken Norton versus, Joe Frazier. These were all on free TV. Everybody watched it. So the Bears now hiring. So this is only a matter of time that the NFL would start hiring coaches because there's so many vacancies. So the big vacancy to me, and it's like, you could say this because I'm, a Dolphin person or whatever, but that Dolphin job is a gem, is a gem. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard was on TV most of his fights. The only ones that weren't on TV were the Hagler fight, the Hearns fight, the Duran fight. Those are the only ones that weren't. Kind of like the way the WWE does it. They build up the fights through the free TV, and then they have the pay-per-view events. It's like, that's how it's supposed to be done. They skip that part because they're greedy as hell. Fight tickets used to be, fight tickets have gone up so much in price. It's crazy, right? So here's so let's see. I usually have a bunch of fight tickets lying around, but both of these are a little older. So I'll have to show you guys more, but you could see, and you know how much the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight tickets were, right? They were like $10,000. Well, this was a pretty big fight too, and hopefully you guys can see it. You can see the price. It was $500. And it was well worth it. You know, look who's fighting. You know, hopefully you guys can see this. It says, those of you that are listening on podcasts, it says Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao. Ticket stub. $500. Well worth it. Well worth it. That was the most, at the time, that was the most expensive the most money I ever paid for a ticket. That was the first fight that they really put that high ticket price on, $500. Because before that, I was looking like for my Morales tickets. They were like $50, like $100. I sat third row for Pacquiao Morales 3. It was $500, ringside, like literally ringside. Like they took a picture in the newspaper. I'm standing right there. Like you see Morales, you know, going knocked out like this, you know, in the newspaper, the front page in the morning. And I'm standing right there with my friend Mark. And that was $500 easy. I don't know if Pacquiao De La Hoya was my favorite fight I ever went to. It was the one that I looked forward to the most, I think, before the fight. And I think that you could hear in the ring, I thought that it was pretty amazing when Manny went over to Oscar because they were trying to interview them, right? So the mic was right there. And Manny said to Oscar, he said, "You're still my hero," you know? And Oscar turned to him and he said, "You're my hero." And it was just, you know, it was kind of like the place went bananas. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. I got to do the premium show. The guys are waiting to do the live show. Aloha, ahui ho. Fun show this morning. I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Eastern time with Joe Madden. You guys got to tune in for that one. Fun show. Joe and I we rant, we rave, we have good times. So I'll see you then. Have an awesome, awesome day.